I am Astara Soleil. Some of you I've worked with before, and some of you I've never worked with before. I'm very grateful for the familiar faces and the new faces too. I am a sensual fluency educator and trance worker. So I have lots of astral tools that I use to help people connect with their innate knowledge, their innate wisdom, their body wisdom, their multidimensional levels and of awareness. So, and I do that in lots of different ways. Okay. So primarily though, essentially, I am here to help sensitive creatives thrive. And this is because I seriously, for real, I believe in you guys. Like, even if I don't know you personally, I know sensitive creatives and I know how sensitive creatives are built. And I know what we're built for. And this is the thing. What I've seen and what's driven this work, this class, and the other things I'm going to tell you about is that we have all of these brilliant, amazing people that have such important, essential things to bring this world, but we're stuck in survival mode. We're stuck in scarcity mode. We're barely able to take care of ourselves to keep going day to day, like whether it's our job or not having a job and struggling, that's our situation. And so I have created these platforms, this class, and a business model to help genius sensitive creatives begin freeing themselves from all of those struggles. So I'm the founder of Laughing Goddess Media, 13 Moons Magazine, and Thrive with Astara. Thrive is my one-on-one practice, and I'm going to tell you about how you also can grow a one-on-one practice if that's your goal, or any other practice that can kind of support you financially so that you can expand and do all these other things. So now I've created Laughing Goddess Media to provide platforms and opportunities for creatives to begin doing that work. And 13 Moons Magazine is sort of that platform where you're actually putting your work out there. That's the kind of the how pathway. All right, guys. So I want to tell you a little bit about my story, my background, why I created all these things, why I care about these things. So my old life, before I started doing this, working for myself, I worked in social work. I was in social work and I worked for the health department. I absolutely loved what I did. I loved who I worked for, like worked with, my clients, my families I served. I worked with pregnant women and new moms. And I love the programs that I worked for. The missions that I worked for is wonderful. But we were doing it through the health department, and they were basically working us kind of like human services on an assembly line. All they cared about was quantity, numbers, seeing as many people as you could. They didn't even ask us what we did or the impact or anything. So we weren't really even able to serve our families the way that we really wanted, the way that they deserved. And we were totally overbooked, overworked. It was a crazy hustle. Some of it, I was raising a small child during that time. Some of the time I was in college. Some of the time I was a single mom. It was madness. I was all over the place. And I just remember sitting at my desk and literally plotting how I could find a way to check myself into a mental ward for a week just so I could get a break, because it was the only way I knew how to get a break. And I did not know how the hell I was going to keep doing what I was doing. Okay. So basically push came to shove. I realized that, that type of environment was not for me. It was literally killing my soul. So a turning point came and I was able to find my way to get off of that job. I had money saved up for my pension. I had a plan. I had a couple people that were ready to work with me, and I went into that life. Okay. And it seemed wonderful. I had, I went into it with all the ideals of this is how I'm going to spend my time and my days and all that stuff. Right. Well, I had 4 months of money saved up, and if you're just jumping into a business and you don't really know what you're doing, you're just figuring things out. It takes more than 4 months to make some money, right? Some consistent and steady money usually. So, and at the same time that my money ran out, my partner got laid off from work. So we instantly both went into crazy survival mode. And in my mind, it just didn't make sense that I would do anything but work all the time. Like, I got to set this up. I got to do this thing, and it's almost like a race. And so basically then I came in with all the same hustle that I had left my job for. And I started repeating all the same things, working all around the clock 24/7. And then you don't even have like clocking out to do, when you're at home, you can just end up working all the time, which is exactly what I did. I didn't feed myself well, didn't take care of. There's always reasons like I have to do this first, right? And when the money comes and when the free time comes, that's when I'll start taking care of myself. I was too busy for self-care. That's the worst thing ever. Okay. So another breaking point, basically, it was wonderful, a wonderful, successful campaign that I had, put out there. And it, financially was wonderful. I was, offering out a new program. But what I had to do that was work around the clock, or what I thought I had to do that was work around the clock. And so by the time that I actually ended that campaign, I literally couldn't even move. Like I was so exhausted. Like at one point, and then it was like all the things, like the universe just came crashing in saying, you can't keep doing it like this. First off, I'm thinking like, if I'm crashing now, how am I going to even keep up with what I've called in, right? And then like all the things started happening. Like for instance, we were in the middle of a move and I went to go move something. I fell down the stairs. I dropped a cactus. I had like cactus needles all through my hands and stuff. I sprained my ankle and then, or like hurt my ankle. And then I got sick. I got really, really sick also. So I'm laid up for like a week after this, after I've created all of this. And my guides broke it down. Look, they broke it down. They had to sit me down. They had to lay me up for me to hear that was not sustainable. And if I was going to go into this new place of having more money, because I was coming from a place of just really not knowing how to bring it all together to bring the income in. Okay. And if I was going into this place where I was ready to earn real money, how was I going to keep up with it in a sustainable way? So that is actually when I kind of had a come to moment, I guess. The guys really broke it down and showed me that everything I was doing was backwards, and everything we've been taught about success in a traditional context is backwards, right? So I had to rethink that, and that's out of that was born the pillars of success for the sensitive. So that is really what we're going to talk about today, is to reframe that. How do we as sensitives succeed? Because it is very different than a lot of the traditional programming, even though a lot of that isn't super healthy for anybody, but especially for energy sensitives. We just don't function that way. We don't function from just working. We don't function from sacrifice. It's not how we flow. It's not our design. And our design is freaking magnificent. So once we learn how to work with it, all of the magic flows seemingly effortlessly. It really does feel effortless.